my fiancée's friend called, voice shaking. She had an emergency. You need to come now. When I got there, the doctor looked at me and asked, "Are you her partner?" I smirked and said, "I am, but clearly, so is someone else." Then I dropped the ring and walked out. I never thought I'd be the guy sharing a story like this, but here I am. Maybe writing it down will help me process everything. I'm a 34-year-old software developer living in Chicago. I've been with my fiancée, Natalie, for 3 years. We got engaged 6 months ago, and I truly believed we were building a future together. Natalie is a 32-year-old nurse, compassionate and dedicated to her work. We met through mutual friends and hit it off immediately. Our relationship seemed solid, filled with love, trust, and mutual respect. Last Friday started like any other day. I was at work, buried in code, when my phone buzzed around noon. It was Sarah, Natalie's best friend. Sarah and I were friendly but didn't usually communicate directly, so her call was unexpected. Answering, I immediately noticed the tremor in her voice. "James, you need to come to Mercy Hospital right now. It's Natalie. There's been an emergency," she said, her words rushed and panicked. My heart dropped. I pressed for details, but Sarah only insisted I get there as soon as possible. I grabbed my coat and rushed out, informing my boss of a personal emergency. The drive to the hospital was a blur, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. Upon arrival, I found Sarah pacing in the waiting area. Her eyes were red and puffy, evidence of recent tears. She led me to the emergency room without a word, her silence amplifying my anxiety. A doctor approached us, glancing between Sarah and me. "Are you her partner?" he asked, his expression unreadable. I nodded, trying to steady my voice. "I am." "What's going on?" he sighed, a flicker of discomfort crossing his face. "Natalie was brought in due to complications from a miscarriage." The room seemed to tilt. Miscarriage? We weren't trying for a baby, and as far as I knew, she wasn't pregnant. A whirlwind of emotions surged: confusion, concern, betrayal. Before I could respond, the doctor continued. "She experienced significant blood loss but is stable now. She's resting." I swallowed hard, my mind racing. I needed to see her, to hear her side. But first, I had to process this revelation. Sarah placed a gentle hand on my arm. "James, I think you should know." She trailed off, tears welling up again. "Know what, Sarah?" I prompted, dread pooling in my stomach. She hesitated, then whispered, "Natalie, she was seeing someone else. I only found out when the hospital called me. They thought I was her emergency contact." The ground beneath me felt unsteady. The woman I planned to marry had been unfaithful, and now this? I felt a surge of anger, pain, and disbelief. Without another word, I turned and walked toward Natalie's room. She lay there, pale and fragile, eyes fluttering open as I entered. "James," she murmured, attempting a weak smile. I couldn't return it. "Why, Natalie? Why didn't you tell me?" Tears streamed down her face. "I was scared. I made a mistake, a huge mistake. I didn't know how to tell you." I reached into my pocket, feeling the weight of the engagement ring. With a heavy heart, I placed it on the bedside table. "I can't do this," I whispered, turning away. As I walked out, Sarah tried to stop me, but I shook my head. I needed space, time to think. The future I'd envisioned had shattered in an instant. The days that followed were a haze. Friends reached out, offering support, but I couldn't face anyone. I took time off work, needing solitude to process everything. Natalie attempted to contact me multiple times, leaving voicemails and texts filled with apologies and pleas for forgiveness. I couldn't bring myself to respond. The betrayal cut too deep. Sarah, too, checked in on me, expressing her own guilt for not realizing sooner. I assured her it wasn't her fault, though I wasn't sure I believed it myself. One evening, I found myself scrolling through old photos of Natalie and me, memories of happier times. The pain was overwhelming, but amidst it, I realized I couldn't let this define me. I sought therapy, needing professional guidance to navigate my emotions. It helped, slowly but surely. I began reconnecting with friends, immersing myself in work, and picking up old hobbies I had neglected. Trusting again seemed impossible, but I knew time would heal. Natalie's actions had broken me, but I refused to let them destroy me. Months have passed since that fateful day. While the scars remain, they've begun to fade. I've learned the importance of self-worth and the resilience of the human spirit. About 2 weeks after everything happened, just when I started to feel like I could breathe again, something else hit me. It was a Sunday morning. I was cleaning up my apartment, something I hadn't done much of lately, when my phone lit up with a notification from Facebook Messenger. It was a name I didn't recognize, Tyler V. I opened the message, and it started with, "Hey man. I think we need to talk. It's about Natalie." I stared at it, thinking maybe it was spam or a mistake. But curiosity got the better of me. I replied, "What do you mean?" Seconds later, he was typing. Then came a wall of messages. Tyler said he had been seeing Natalie for the past 5 months. She told him she was single. They met through a hospital volunteer program he did part-time while working freelance gigs. He said he had no idea she was engaged. He only found out because he saw one of our engagement pictures when she accidentally left her phone unlocked one night. That was 2 weeks before the miscarriage. He said he confronted her about it, and she told him she was breaking it off with me soon. Then, she ghosted him completely. I didn't know what to say. My stomach turned. I could feel the anger crawling back up my throat. This wasn't just a one-night mistake. This was months. And lies. To both of us. But Tyler didn't stop there. He said Natalie had been living 2 lives. One with me, her stable guy. The other with him. Her escape, as she called it. And when she got pregnant, she didn't even know who the father was. That was the part that broke me all over again. Tyler apologized for everything. He seemed genuine, confused, even hurt himself. He offered to meet up, but I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. I needed to sit with it. I didn't respond again after that. Later that night, I got another message. This time from Natalie. "Please don't believe everything you hear." That was it. The nerve. I stared at the screen for a long time. She had the audacity to say that, after everything? I didn't answer her either. I couldn't. Not when my hands were shaking from pure rage and disbelief. But the next twist was something I didn't see coming at all. A week later, I was walking home from work. I passed by a small coffee shop near West Loop I used to go to with Natalie. And there she was, sitting inside. Not alone. She was with a guy. Not Tyler. Someone else. Laughing. Smiling. Like nothing ever happened. I stopped in my tracks. My feet didn't want to move, but my heart did this wild flip-flop in my chest. It was like someone hit me with a brick. I didn't go in. I just watched for a few seconds, like a creep, trying to register what I was seeing. Then I left. I don't know if she saw me. I don't really care. I walked for blocks. Just thinking. I wasn't angry anymore. Not really. I was exhausted. Tired of feeling stupid. Tired of chasing answers that didn't matter anymore. But the universe wasn't done messing with me. 2 days later, I got a letter. A real one. In my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a handwritten note. And a picture. The note said, "You deserve the truth. You were never the only one. She used all of us. You're not crazy. She just never stopped lying." And the picture? It was of Natalie. Sitting on some guy's lap at a bar. Timestamp from last summer. Right when we were apartment hunting together and talking about kids. I don't know who sent it. Maybe Tyler. Maybe someone else. Maybe one of the other guys. Who knows how many there were. All I knew was this. Every time I thought I had reached the bottom, someone pulled the floor out again. And somehow, I was still falling. 3 days after I got the anonymous letter, I decided to dig deeper. I didn't want to. I wanted to be done with her. But something about that photo, it stuck with me. It wasn't just the betrayal anymore. It was the feeling that I had no idea who this person really was. So I did something I hadn't done before. I logged into an old shared Google Photos album we made together during the first year of our relationship. I hadn't touched it in forever. I just wanted to remind myself that those memories were real. That there had been something good. But while scrolling, I noticed something strange. There were a few new photos in there. Dated just 3 months ago. She must have forgotten the album was still syncing automatically from her phone. One photo stopped me cold. Natalie. In a hotel room. Mirror selfie. Lingerie. Not mine. I clicked to expand it, and that's when I saw it. In the background, barely in frame, was a man's jacket. It was draped over a chair. The sleeve had a distinctive tattoo on the forearm. I zoomed in. It wasn't Tyler. I'd seen that tattoo before. It belonged to Kyle, a mutual friend of ours. Someone I played pool with. Someone who had been at our engagement party. I felt my jaw clench so tight it hurt. My ears buzzed. Kyle? The guy who used to joke that he was too wild to settle down. I messaged him. Didn't even try to be subtle. You slept with Natalie? 10 minutes passed. No reply. Then 20. Finally, he wrote back. Man. I didn't know how to tell you. She said you two were on a break. I swear I didn't know it was serious. I called him. You came to my engagement party, Kyle. He didn't say anything. I hung up. I didn't want excuses. I just wanted this nightmare to stop unraveling. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Because later that night, I got a call from Natalie's mom. We were never super close, but she was kind to me. Supportive. She hadn't reached out since the breakup. She sounded hesitant on the phone. I shouldn't be telling you this. She started. But Natalie's not well. I said nothing. She's been lying to a lot of people. Not just you. It's been going on for a while. Then she said the thing that froze me in place. She told her dad you hit her. I sat down. What? She said that's why the engagement ended? That you got angry and violent. I couldn't speak. My mouth went dry. I felt sick. She told other people too. Her mom added. Her cousin, a few friends. I don't believe her. I know you. I know you wouldn't. But James, you need to protect yourself. She's spiraling. I thanked her. Barely. My brain was foggy. Now it wasn't just cheating. It wasn't just betrayal. It was her actively trying to destroy my reputation. My name. I started going back through texts, photos, everything. I needed records. Receipts. Just in case. 2 days later, I got a knock on my door. A friend of mine, Carla, stood there with a look I hadn't seen before. Pity. And guilt. I ran into Natalie at a birthday party. She said some really dark things about you. James, I had to see you. I had to know it wasn't true. It wasn't. But now I realize this wasn't just a breakup. This was damage control. Natalie wasn't just cheating behind my back. She was rewriting the whole story. She was turning herself into the victim. Telling different versions to different people. Some believed her. Some didn't. But I had no way of knowing who heard what. And still, no apology. No admission. Just silence. Or denial. Or more lies. What scared me most was that I didn't know how far she'd go. And I was starting to wonder, what else had I missed? What else hadn't come to light, yet? A week after Carla showed up at my door, I made a decision. I was done sitting in the dark while Natalie rewrote the truth. I needed answers, real ones, face to face. I texted her. We need to talk. Not later. Now. Public place. Come clean. She didn't respond for an hour. Then, fine. Bean Bar Cafe. 6 p.m. I chose that place because it was neutral. Bright. Public. No shouting matches. No slammed doors. No more secrets hiding behind curtains. When I got there, she was already seated by the window. Looking flawless, like always. It irritated me how calm she looked. Like nothing had happened. Like this was just a catch-up between old friends. I sat down across from her. Didn't even say hello. You told people I hit you, I said. She blinked. Didn't flinch. I never said that directly. Indirectly is enough, I snapped. She looked away. People made assumptions. No, Natalie, I said, leaning in, my voice low but sharp. You let them. You wanted them to. She didn't deny it. And that's when the dam broke. You think you're the only one who got hurt? She hissed. You think this was easy for me? You were sleeping with Kyle, I said. You lied to Tyler. You told your mom I was abusive. Don't talk to me about pain. She looked stunned for a second. Like she didn't realize how much I knew. Or maybe just how tired I was. I went on. You cheated. More than once. And I stayed blind because I wanted to believe we were building something real. Her lip trembled. You weren't blind, she said quietly. You just saw what you wanted to see. That made me pause. Because it was true. I had ignored red flags. The late nights. The vague stories. The friend. Names I never heard twice. My gut warned me, but I shoved it aside because I loved her. Because I thought that mattered. Then she whispered something that punched a hole in my chest. I never wanted to get married. What? She looked at me, eyes glassy. I said yes because I thought it would fix things. I didn't love you the way you loved me. I'm sorry, James. That silence after, it was loud. Heavy. Crushing. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. Across the cafe, a couple looked over. I didn't care. You could have just told me, I said, voice breaking. You didn't have to destroy me. Her eyes welled up, but she didn't cry. I didn't know how to leave. You made me believe I was your future. You were my safety net, she said, and it felt like a slap. You were the quiet, stable one. The one who'd never leave. And I needed that, until I didn't. I stood up. I couldn't sit there anymore. Whatever hole you're trying to fill, I said, shaking. Don't ever use someone like that again. She didn't respond. I walked out. Sarah called me later that night. Said she heard what happened. Apparently Natalie told her the full truth after our meeting. Or some version of it. She admitted to multiple affairs. To the lies. Even the abuse rumors. Sarah was furious. She's spiraling, she said. But James, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was this bad. Neither did I. Word spread fast. Mutual friends reached out, apologizing for believing her. Some cut her off completely. A few stayed. Neutral. Whatever that means. But I was done. Done defending myself. Done digging through lies. Done with the guilt of trying to be someone's anchor when they were never even in the boat with me. The aftermath was strange. Quiet. Like a storm had passed and left only debris. For weeks, I replayed everything. The good moments. The way she used to look at me. The laughter. All of it tainted now. But also, there was relief. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't the bad guy. And finally, I didn't have to pretend everything was fine. Carla, Sarah, even Tyler, they became unlikely supports. We talked, processed, tried to rebuild what Natalie had fractured. And somehow, that helped. It's been a few months. I'm not over it. But I'm better. I sleep through the night now. I don't jump at every phone buzz. I go out with friends. I even started dating again, slowly. The biggest lesson? If someone shows you confusion, don't fill in the blanks with love. If someone makes you question your worth, walk. Because real love doesn't hide in lies. And healing? Healing starts when you stop making excuses for someone who didn't even care enough to be honest. I'm not sure where life goes from here. But I know this much: I may be scarred, but I'm not broken. Not anymore.